Hey guys, this will be the first of a handful of videos I'm going to make showing you guys the basics of Reaper. And this first one's going to be introducing you to the native instruments, things we downloaded last week, launching Reaper and showing you some of the navigation tools inside of it, and how to do the very basics in Reaper, like adding tracks, putting instruments on those tracks, how to record some sound, so that you can at least start fooling around with Reaper and gain a little bit of comfort between now and when we come back from spring break. At that point, I'll hopefully have a handful of videos to give you some more tutorials, and at that point we'll really start working on composing. So I will ask you guys, if you've got time over spring break, to do a little bit of fooling around in Reaper so that it's not 100% brand new after that. So that's why this video is coming out now. Anyway, so what I want to show you first is how the Komplete Control software works a little bit. I know I sent you guys a PDF on it, but seeing it's a little bit different. So on my Mac, I've navigated to my Applications folder. If you guys are PCs, you'll go to the Start menu and go to your Program Applications. And under Applications, I will find the Native Instruments folder right here. I'll open it up. I'm going to go down to Komplete Control, and this is the actual application. You'll see it says Application. So if I double click that, it'll launch. And when it does so, that's the way you know this has all worked so far, that your installation went well, is that when it launches, you see all of this on the left-hand side. You have three buttons here at the top: our library that has, it has instruments, loops, and one-shots, but I think what that really is are like samples. Okay, but what you'll notice is when I pick an instruments, it gives me types of instruments, and then I would select one. So it's basically like it's a filtering system. So I'll go to, let's, guitar sounds. I would go to, say, a distorted guitar sound, and then I've got two options here. Now notice I don't have my keyboard set up with this computer right now because I'm not going to get to that point today. But I do want to show you, at this point, you can just click on a sound, and you'll hear a sample of it. Okay, kind of cool. And again, right now we can't really make any music or record. This is just the software interface to let you navigate the software for native instruments, the Komplete Control set of sounds. Okay, so that's instruments. If I go over here to loops, I can go to ambient loops, and I think we simply just click on a loop and we'll hear it loop. Sounds like a Radiohead tune. Go to percussion. Let's see, bongo percussion. Oh, that's pretty cool. So what you should be, oh, that's kind of nice. Okay, I don't know how to make it stop. No. All right, let's turn the volume down. That's too much. Okay. This is something you can certainly be doing on your own to check out sounds and investigate what's here in the Komplete Control software. There are other pieces of software we'll also get into. Realize this is one of many things you downloaded, but it's kind of an important one. If I click on one shots, I'll bring my volume back up. Wow, these are kind of cool. So you can see there's all sorts of things. Okay, again, that's just really one. This is one aspect of the stuff, but I want you to be able to navigate this. So again, you choose the type of thing you want to listen to, change any characteristics of it, and then select them, and you can kind of test things out. We can access all of this from inside Reaper, and that's really what's important, that we can go to Reaper and open these up, and then we can record with the keyboard and make them do what we want, not just hear those little snippets. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is move into Reaper. So to get to that point, I'm going to go up here to Komplete Control, and I'm going to go ahead and quit it. Okay, next time I launch this, I'll actually do it from within Reaper, not standalone like this. So I'm going to quit Komplete Control, and that'll take a second. You know, this is one thing with free software, you guys. Sometimes it's a little wonky. I've had a couple of crashes in Reaper that I haven't ever had in GarageBand. It's just kind of the way it goes. So now I'm going to go down to my dock, and I'm going to launch Reaper, which looks like this homemade guitar pick here. And I will say, you guys, I've used a lot of DAWs, and I do very much like Reaper. It's a pretty impressive piece of machinery for free. So anyway, so I do not have my MIDI device set up, so it's asking for it. So I'm just going to tell it, I'm going to give it a second first. I'm going to tell it to close. Okay. I'm going to tell this, I'm going to tell it that I'm just listening. I'm still evaluating the software. I'm not going to buy Reaper yet. I'm going to go ahead and open up a new file in Reaper because I've been doing messing around with the project as I learned. But I'm going to go ahead and go to New Project. And that should hopefully close out the old one. Yeah, so now this is a basic, bland, nothing project, which is pretty cool. Okay, we can see what we got here. And I think that at this point, this is what you guys should see when you launch Reaper. Okay, the first thing I want to show you is where some of the important things are in Reaper. And again, I'm still learning, but there are some obvious things. If you read your book like I asked, those few pages, here's our transport. Here's our play button, our record button, fast forward, rewind, cycle record, I think, pause and stop. Okay, so that's basic stuff. Here's our little mixer for the master track is what I'm assuming, and we'll get to more of that in a bit. So here's one of our controls, obviously. Here's our transport. The pluses and minuses over here on the right will change the scale of your view, like zooming in and zooming out. We'll manipulate that a little bit, especially as we move further along and we have more music that we'll actually be doing. If you look at the top of this timeline, right, this is like our, well, it's a timeline, I would say, of the song. At this point, we're at measures and beats. I think we can change that. I haven't messed with that a whole lot yet in here, but we actually see measures and beats up top. We also see a timestamp below. So based on the tempo, which is over here, 120 beats a minute. So measure 2 will be at the 2-second mark, right? So, and there's our meter 4/4. So all this stuff right here in the middle is like our transport and extended transport aspects. Okay. Up here in the upper left are a bunch of buttons. We don't need to worry about these too much, at least not yet. This is an undo button, which is good to know about actually. Here's a redo button, so if you accidentally delete something, you can undo it. Or if you, anyway, then you have a redo button if you need it. To the right of that is important. This is our metronome. Right now it's disabled. Now I've enabled it. So it will click when I record, which is good. There are a series of menus above. Okay. I will get into each of these a little more in depth in the future, but I just want to get you guys hearing some things today. So the first thing is, I know a lot of you picked up MIDI keyboards from James, and that's amazing. If you still need one, contact me. We're looking to buy a handful more, and we can get them out to you. Probably not now till after spring break, but we can still get them to you. The heavy lifting won't be coming till after spring break anyway. But there is an option here inside of Reaper to utilize a virtual keyboard. So if we look at the View menu, and pull down to Virtual MIDI Keyboard. I'm going to click on that and you'll see, hey, we have a keyboard. Right now it does nothing because there's no sound set up yet, but we have the keyboard here, so now we can play these instruments on this little keyboard. And pro tip, notice like C3 is the key Z. And so as I type on my laptop keyboard, I'd actually be playing those keys. So I can do a chromatic scale. We'll get to the sound eventually, but you get the idea. You can do a chromatic scale right there on the keyboard. It's kind of cool.